All right, welcome back, Wayfarer. We're doing a little testing. Testing. One, two, three. Testing. Testing. Live stream active. Let me check the feedback loop. Yeah, looks like we're good. Good to go. Greetings and salutations. Shabbat Shalom once again. Magic 101 series. We're doing some preliminary meditative work. So we'll go ahead and get right into it. But before we begin, join me in prayer. Holy art thou, Lord of the universe, the vast and the mighty one, creator of heaven and earth, maker of all things visible and invisible, master of both the light and the darkness, he who was, is, and shall be. We adore thee and we invoke thee. Send us one of your divine spiritual agents, our holy guardian angel, to protect and guide us through the innumerable snares of the earthly sphere, and a cleansing wind to disperse all negativity and endless human opinion. Teach us the work and the glory of thine ineffable name, Adonai. So it is commanded. It looks like it blanked out. Looks like it might be good now, though. Hard to say. All right, Frank Monday coming at you once again like Finnegan from behind the bamboo firewall, Twilight Zone, Old Peking. I'm bringing you another in the series of Magic 101. This one is preliminary meditative work. Are we reconnected? And when did we reconnect? All right, I'm going to go ahead and keep that feedback loop open so I know if and when we disconnect. Hope the hair's looking okay, guys. Hope the old Frank Monday's looking okay, guys. Let me launch this browser window and see if it'll work out all right on this session. Because sometimes you never know, man. Like mental bending space, live magic 101, entire screen. Okay, we'll go with entire screen. I believe that should be okay. And we're looking good. Man, that feedback loop is way behind on. It's like probably 30 seconds behind or so. Let's see if I can catch it up a little bit. Point up, check it, point up, check it. Yeah, it's still way back there. That's okay. We'll go ahead and check it out anyway. It says I got two things active, and let me see if I can open the chat as well. Never miss a comment. It says, yeah, looking good. See if my captions are still loaded. Yeah, okay. Fair enough. I will remind you, Wayfarer, check me out at buymeacoffee.com/Frank Monday. Put a little something in the tip jar. That'll keep the lead in the old pencil and the pep in my step. We're going to be looking at a couple of different things here. We're starting off with Israel Regardi's The Art and Meaning of Magic. He says that the fundamental techniques of magic are and can be divided into, from a bird's eye view of the entire field of magic. For the convenience of the subject, we may divide it into at least three major divisions: one, divination; two, evocation and vision; and three, invocation. He will go on to define each one separately and at some length. We're going to be working on number two right now. So we'll go ahead and scroll down to that. We're going to skip over divination for now. It is when we leave the relatively simple realm of divination to approach the obscure subject of evocation that we enter into deep waters, right? Deep subconscious waters. Here it is the most difficult. Here it is that most difficulty it has arisen, and its connection with this phrase of magic that the greatest misunderstanding and fear even has developed. In order to elucidate the matter, let me Again, turn to the terminology of modern psychology. The term complex has achieved a fairly wide notoriety during the last quarter of a century since the circulations since the circulation of the theories of Freud and Jung. It means an aggregation or group of ideas in the mind with a strong emotional charge, capable of influencing conscious thought and behavior. If my interest is magic, then naturally every item of information acquired, no matter what its nature, is likely to be built by association into the constellation of ideas clustering around my interest, becoming in the course of years a thorough going complex. Mrs. Jones, my dairy woman, because of her professional predilection, will have her complex centering around milk and cows and butter and the price of eggs. Over and above this definition, however, is the more subtle one of a group of ideas or feelings congregating about a significant or dominant psychic theme, such as sex or the need to overcome inferior feelings, or some psychic wound of childhood, tying up or locking up of nervous energy. Thus, as a result of repression, we may find a complex of which the possessor is totally unconscious. A complex expressing itself in a sense of insecurity, obsession by morbid, unreasonable fears, and persistent anxiety. We'll step entirely away from that in doing magic. And so we just need to look at the idea here that we're building a constellation of ideas by way of association centering around magic. And some of those ideas we're going to look at first and foremost are going to be here: preliminary meditative work. So the text is there highlighted, but I will root the aspirant in the date. We are October 4th, 2025. The moon is in Pisces and it's nearing a full moon in Pisces, 11:48 p.m., 48 a.m. No, it looks like that full moon is going to be in Aries because we'll transition into Aries before the moon becomes full. All right, good magic there. So a perfect end beginning to a new cycle for our 100-day challenge, Internal Alchemy. And to support that, I found this list of items to aid the aspirant in achieving greater depth for their meditative work. So, first off is the darkness technique and daily awareness exercises. All right. Before the commencement of any meditation, breathe deeply and rhythmically. Natural rhythmic breathing, right? Down to the Dantian. So, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Try a few of those, a few relaxing breaths. In, hold 3, 2, 1, out, relax. In, 2, 1, out, relax. And then continue natural rhythmic breathing. Rub the hands together vigorously, right? Vigorous rubbing of the hands on an inhale. And exhale, covering the eyes with not actually the palm, but a little bit up to put some pressure on them. And as you do so, exhale, right? Do this 3 times. In and out. In, vigorous rubbing to warm up the palms, and out. Okay. Here it says cover your eyes with the palms of your hands, overlapping fingers of one hand with the other, and experience total darkness. I disagree with that. I think this is a much better way, like this, with the heel of the hand pressing in on the eyes. Next up is sense awareness techniques. For the duration of 1 week, take a daily walk and make mental note of everything you see, not focusing on anything in particular. This for the first week. Following week, take a daily walk and deliberately focus on single items, taking note of everything concerning this object. You might try this in your room too. Just become aware of individual objects in the room and then focus intent. Uh, E, or intention. In Chinese, we say E. One item you might like to have on your desk is a bit of a memento mori. It's the a skull of some sort. I like this smaller one. I got a larger one on my other altar, but you can take it in and contemplate, right? The mortality of the physical being and kind of do like you do with your tarot scanning ritual, right? Your tarot contemplation ritual, and do some sort of contemplation ritual over an item such as this, right? Other items might be your magical wand, your pentacle. You could, again, we've done this in the past, but you could do it again. You could take the tarot cards and contemplate the major arcana one by one over the course of 3 weeks, right? Various items you can do there. Now, the following week, this is a really good one, guys. So, coloration in the room and in your environment. You're going to want to start off with look in the room or go out about on your daily walk. And on Sundays, today's in fact Saturday, Friday for many of you, but on Sunday it says look for orange, Monday blue, Tuesday red, right? So these correspond with the seven major planets, right? So orange, yellow, right? And then Monday blue for the moon, blue, silver hints. Tuesdays are going to be red, fiery, Martian energy. Wednesdays they say yellow, but yellow, yellow white, like an even pale yellow. Thursday violet for Jupiter. Friday green for the Venusian energy, and then Saturday blue, violet, or indigo for and black, right, or purple for Saturnian energy. So that's a good one. That's next step is for 1 week, concentrate on the various sounds that are heard on your daily walk. Stop at certain times, close your eyes so that the faculty of sight does not interfere with this exercise. So we're going from the vision aspect to the auditory, right? Then for the following week, take a daily walk and deliberately focus on one particular sound. So starting to isolate and bring forward those individuated sounds, preferably if you have birds in your environment or the chirping of insects or something like that. If you know a particular bird's call, that would be a good thing to dial in on. For another week, take note of tactile and touch sensations, right? The feeling of cloth, metal, your microphone, wood, right? Something cool like a drink. All right, increasing those tactile sensations through walking. And you can see how this is going to come into play when we do a meditative induction a little bit later. For another week, take note of every taste that you encounter during the course of a day. Stop at certain times, close your eyes, and really enjoy. All right, and think about how smell plays in with taste as well. And then for another week, we're going to be working on smells, burning of incense, wood smoke, that type of thing, right? Focus on it. Now, exercise is vitally important for the aspirant. In the quest to exalt the health of the spirit, the student must not neglect the health of the body. Physical well being and endurance are essential to a magician who wishes to perform lengthy rituals as well as astral work. During the probationary period, you should begin a regular discipline of exercise to maintain physical fitness. Uh, the choice is up to the individual, whether it be swimming, biking, martial arts, whatever. Israel Regardie recommended that the student perform certain exercises that are designed to raise both the physical and psychic vitality of the practitioner. They are taken from a small pamphlet, The Five Rites of Rejuvenation, The Eye of Revelation. They can be found in Donald Michael Craig's book, Modern Magick, which I just happen to have on hand here with me, along with the big book of ceremonial magic by Israel Regardie. Um, this caveat here is important. Whatever form of exercise is undertaken, the student should never overwork to the point of strain. If one is not used to exercise, begin slowly and gradually. If health concerns are an issue, consult a doctor and before going forward with any form of physical exertion. If you have trained in martial arts, continue training in martial arts. You might want to pick up something to work on your breath skills like flute or saxophone or some other type of musical instrument that you practice once per day. I am, in fact, going to leave it here at this point because I think that it's essential that aspirants get busy, getting busy, and doing their meditative work and getting involved with the program. So the 100-day challenge is not an insurmountable obstacle. It's a challenge, right? And God, it's really jumping around all over the place. Let's see if I can get it back to where I want it. Okay, that should be golden. And how do we remove this? Does that work? Yeah, it looks like it works. And we might have actually had some activity out in the ideas room, so I will check that. Um, Ascending Ancient is here. Yeah, could have been. Could have been. Good to see you, Ascending Ancient. I'll have to check my notes here. I didn't take down my notes on that one, so I apologize. 1,000 apologies. Yeah, reminder of death of the cycle, and could very well have been. Um, Ascending Ancient says, chattering finch and firefly was not merrier than I. Here among the flowers I lie, laughing, everlasting death was but the good king's jest. I like it. A little lovely poetry. Koans and poetry certainly aid the aspirant in getting good magic done. So that's a really good thing. And thank you for bringing that forward. I really appreciate that. Um, and it's the death of a cycle too. It's the death of the year king, right? At the autumn equinox. Wow, why is that? Why is my little thing bubbling? But another good one. So okay, so we did the rubbing of hands and then the covering of eyes. Then you're gonna rub the hands, cover the ears. Again, 3 times with that. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. So the reason you want to kind of stimulate and warm up the face before meditation, because otherwise, during meditation, you're going to get like itchy nose and stuff like that, and you want to get the eyes and ears activated and the nose as well, because you're going to be focusing a lot of chi energy coming in and throughout that. And even when you're working with the visual centers in meditation, you're still going to be relying on the energy of the eyes, but it's the inward eyes, right? So the eyes are closed, slightly open, head upright, chin tucked, shoulders back and relaxed, everything rounded, right? Imagine roundness in the armpits, the elbows, at the hands, right? Everything rounded, rounding here, head upheld as if by a string, tongue to the roof of the mouth, teeth slightly clenched, hips tucked. So the curvature, the natural curvature of the spine opens up the energy pathway back and forth a little, forward and back in order to find the balancing point, right? The top of the pyramid. You imagine a triangle with a pendulum swinging forward and back, right? And then left and right, and you balance it in the middle. Eyes turned slightly upward, right? So that's the basic posture for meditation with the hands, down in the lap. You could have them in the arm circle. You could have them out on the legs, palms down, palms up. You could have them at the heart center, right? Lots of different ways to place the hands in the various forms of mudras or hand postures. Wow, good to see you, Mary, at sea level. Thank you for stopping by. What a pleasure. Good to see you. I was just doing a really short video. I wanted to go about 20 minutes. So I'm about to jump off here, in fact, because I have to cook dinner for my two children. But I wanted to get this preliminary video out there. So to try to pull people in and get them on board with the idea of daily meditation and doing the internal alchemy and joining the 100-day challenge way of internal alchemy is the one I'm doing this go around. It began back on the autumn equinox. So for me, I'm already about 15 days into it. And yeah, we're getting good magic done. 12 days, 13 days. And full moon coming up. Is that full moon going to be in Pisces, or is it going to be transiting into Aries? I was just checking the calendar and I don't know if I had it 100% correct or not. With that said, I wanted to keep this one short as an individual package. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Um, I am not a follower of Montauk Chia. No. Ascending Ancient, but I have read a lot of his works in the past, probably 30 plus years ago, close to 40 years ago now. So I did study a lot of Montauk Chia's material, but a lot of that came from other masters at the time. Like, I'm not sure if you're familiar with Master Ni Hua Qing or not, but Mantak Chia was well known in the community basically to steal everyone's manuscripts and documents and say that he would help translate and compile them, and then he would disappear and run off and publish them on his own. So a lot of his material was just directly pilfered from the Chinese canon and then brought forward as his own type of teaching. But if you go into any Chinese bookstore, there's thousands and thousands of texts in Chinese that are on this material that Mantak Chia basically just kind of plagiarized and ripped off. And he did this to everyone. Like he took even a document of mine that I had gotten from Master Ni Hua Qing. I worked as his apprentice for 2 years. And I had a fold out document that was handwritten calligraphy by Master Ni. And I gave it to Mantak Chia in order to help me translate it because I wanted to know in English and in Chinese. I was deeply engaged in studying Chinese at the time. And he fucking disappeared. He'd never returned my calls and he never gave it back to me. And he was notorious for that though. Like I found out later on. I didn't know at the time, but everyone knew that he was kind of a dirty bird. But George Xu was a good guy. Dr. Yang Jingming in Boston. All of these guys I visited in my early days. And again, I actually lived with Master Ni Hua Qing as his apprentice for 2 years. Good morning from Louisiana. Good to see you, Rose777. Welcome to the chat. Um, Blessings to you. I was just talking about you the other day on a video, and I think you passed by and said hello. So good to see you. Thank you for joining me. I was just asking, it's Pisces moon right now, Frankie. Yeah, but it's going into Aries during the full moon, right? Is that correct? How rude, Mr. Chia Pet. Yeah, Mr. Chia Pet, he was up to his own magic, But he wasn't pulling any punches, He wanted to get paid. He wanted to make it into a thing where, you generate a lot of income from. So he did a lot of public talks in Boston and LA and San Francisco as well. And a lot of those guys got involved in doing public talks and doing organizing workshops. Is that what they were called? Yeah, like 7-day workshops up in the mountains and stuff that you'd end up paying $2,000 or $3,000 for back then. It was kind of a big thing. I was really involved in it as well, but I went into the thing like I go into all things with a spirit of sincerity and genuineness, and you find out really quick that there's a lot of cynicism and deception in those inner circles. So it's important to be careful and protect your energy. But a lot of my documentation comes from other teachers. Again, Master Ni Hua Qing and the Xingyi Martial Arts Institute, which I was a student at for 10 years. Those guys had their shit together. Not only were they uh, woohoo spiritual gurus, but they were damn good fighters too. And there's something to be said, at least for the young magician, in mastering martial arts and learning to be a good fighter at the physical level. It, and at the same time, moving forward your spiritual integration and enlightenment and learning to yeah, do all of those things. So a wonderful thing. Yeah, scholar warrior, warrior wizard, all of that fun stuff. Guys, I wanted to keep this one really short. I'll be back in about 3 minutes. I got to go kick yeah, Mary, don't reveal too much about me, Mary. Um, I gotta go. I gotta go cook some steaks and noodles for my kids. But I will be back in a bit. Before we leave, I'll finish this off here with the invocation of total integration. This one comes from Seven Star Communications and the Universal Society of the Integral Way. It's one I memorized when I was like 16 or 17. Heaven and earth are the spontaneous manifestations of the subtle, wondrous universal law. As the original oneness expresses itself, gross and subtle energies become distinctly divided. Our bodily caves are brightly illuminated by the mysterious light from the three Dantian bridge points leading to immortality. The powerful spirits of the eight directions conjoin our beings with the true origin of life. By the absolute order of the divine Ling Bao in the highest ninth heaven, send the positive energies of Qianlo, Dana, Dunkan, and Tai Xuan to destroy our spiritual obstacles and debilitate any evil influence. This order is given by the highest sovereignty. It is a jade oracle from the subtle origin. I invoke with strong sincerity to drive away the demons and evils and lengthen my healthy years. The attained spirits respond. The evil demon king, Mo Wang, is chained to stand as our guard and servant. The powerful atmosphere has been generated, dispersing all negativity. The chi of Tao is everlasting. So it is commanded and confirmed. So mote it be. Amen. Remember, O neophyte, goodness alone is power, silence is strength, will regaineth omnipotence, and love lieth at the foundation, because love is the law, love under will, and do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Until next time, aspirants, carpe diem, ad astra per aspera, I will see you in the abodes of the future. Bye for now.